everyone and welcome to my channel. I was going to say back to my channel, but then I realised this is my first video, so woo! Great. So anyway, guys, my name is Rag Bunny and it is a pleasure to meet you. Now, a little bit about myself. I am somebody who wants to bring a light into this world, one that isn't shined very brightly, and that is awareness of other LGBTQIA+ communities that are not as well heard of. Now today we are going to be talking about Aroace. Now I for one am Aroace, so I know this topic like the back of my hand. So Aroace is a combination of aromantic and the term asexual. Now asexual is probably a term that most people are familiar with within the community, but it is very misunderstood because asexuality is actually an umbrella term for all different categories. Not categories, but sexualities. But if I'm describing what an umbrella term is, it would be something that has a category that has lots of subcategories, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to get more into the subcategories of asexuality in another video, but for this one we're going to be focusing on what it is when aromantic and asexual fit together, which is Aroace, which is what yours truly is, and I don't know if I already said that or not. So let's start by looking at the separate sexualities. So I don't think sexualities is the right word, orientations. Let's start looking at the first orientation, which is aromantic. Now I have found that stuff beginning with A is normally, something that you don't have or don't experience. Like aromantic, you don't experience romantic attractions. Asexuality, you don't experience sexual attractions. I don't know, that's just what I found. But anyway, aromantic is exactly what I just said. So people could feel little to no romantic attractions, but they can feel sexual attractions and sexual desires. Basically, they don't really want a romantic relationship, but rather a one of a more sexual nature. Now, asexuality is the opposite to that. Asexuals can feel little to no interest or desire for sex or sexual relations, but they would, maybe want a romantic relationship. Now, if we put these two together, you get something called Aroace, which is the abbreviation of aromantic asexual. So that is someone who doesn't have romantic or sexual desires. Now, a lot of people when they hear this think, oh, that's not a thing, that you're going to be very lonely, very sad. No, we're not sad, it's not a choice, it's how we're born, and I'm happy, man. I have obviously been in relationships before, because before I came out, and I was never happy, I was never comfortable, and I was so glad when I found out what this term meant and that I wasn't alone. But the thing is with aromantic asexuals, a lot of people think, oh, well, you're going to be extremely lonely then. No. That brings me on to something that falls under the asexual umbrella. My cat just zoomed fast, I hope she hasn't got a mouse. So like I was saying, under the asexual umbrella, there is something called queer platonic. Now, a queer platonic relationship is the same as what a romantic relationship would be, but it's, not romantic. It's basically a close relationship built on platonic love and platonic interest. Now, queer platonic people can have families, have kids, get married. Sometimes I know a lot of people get married for the financial benefit side, but not everyone, of course. Although it is not as common as a romantic relationship would be, it is still out there, but just a little bit harder to find. Unfortunately, the term Aroace is very unheard of. Whenever I've asked people do they know what it means, they don't. And that's because we have no social media, not just social media influence. We don't have any TV influence, we don't have any film influence, book influence. Mainly people are bringing in more LGBT characters, so we're getting more trans characters, more bisexual characters, but we're not getting that QI plus standing. So I, for one, have not seen any asexual characters, as far as I'm aware of, in popular mainstream TV or film, and especially not any Aroace characters. But if I were to adopt a character who I believe could potentially be Aroace, I would adopt Merida from Brave, and that is just my personal opinion. So yeah, to sum things up, Aroace is completely fine, and it is so fine to be Aroace. And I know there's so much homophobia, like that's not natural, that's not a thing. That's because they're fickle-minded people who don't see the bigger picture, and it's very sad to be one of them. Don't feel sad, feel bad for them. feel bad for how, how closed-minded they are, how, like, they don't want to explore all the different, the wide range of sexualities out there. And I understand, right, I came out as asexual when I was 16 and aromantic on my 19th birthday. Because purely I came out as aromantic then because I had no idea it was a thing. And when I found out it was a thing by the beautiful subreddit posts, I was extremely happy. I felt not alone, and it was just a huge weight off my shoulder for me. Now, I understand that people will be, let's talk about parents. My parents didn't understand. I came out on my birthday. It was, it wasn't good. They were brought up in a generation where it wasn't really discussed. It was quite taboo to discuss. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to spread that awareness, and I'm here to help you through it, because I understand parents can be homophobic, and that's why I'm your mum now. Take my hand, we'll go get McDonald's. So yes, I understand you might be closeted, maybe because you're scared to come out, maybe because you didn't even know it was a thing until I've just explained that it is a valid thing, because you are valid. And everybody who falls under that asexuality spectrum is valid. Everyone in the whole community of the LGBT is valid, apart from MAPS. But we'll get into that another time, because they're not part of the community, but they want to be. Gross. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry if I waffled a little bit. This is my first video, and I'm not too sure what I'm doing. But I hope I've informed you about more of the wider range that there is to asexuality, and I will be making a video of the whole umbrella, everything that falls underneath it, like queer, platonic, grey ace. And for my next video, I shall be posting the most insane questions I have ever got, and they are crazy. I hope you enjoyed my video, guys, and I will see you soon. Peace out.